What riot? I want a riot. What riot? A riot on my own. What riot? I want a riot. What riot? A riot on my own. Black men got a lot of problems, but they don't mind throwing a brick. White people go to school, where they teach you how to be thick. Everybody does just what you're told to. Nobody wants to go to jail.
Yeah, exactly correct, yes.
So boys, has anybody seen the Fantastic Four trailer?
Anybody? Anybody for the Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble, you couldn't make it up. Wow. This is the 2DCast on irishcomicnews.com and followingthenerd.com, and we are full of joy and cheer this evening.
News, apparently, in your case, Flanagan.
I've just come from a wine tasting. What of it? You know, I'm not afraid to taste a delicious Rioja or a Chardonnay or what have you, and then come home to the new Fantastic Four trailer.
Did you spit out a single drop of it?
No, fuck, not much like Shylock. Not a single drop touched the ground. That's a Shakespeare reference there on the 2DCast. The first and probably the
Merchant of Venice, no less. Well done.
So, boys, we're full of Schadenfreude this evening as we have enjoyed inverted commas, and actually, I have to say, I really did enjoy both. The Royal Rumble and the new Fantastic Four trailer. One of the few occasions in my life when I can say my cup runneth over with pish. What the fuck on both counts? Which one do we want? Well, can we start with the Fantastic Four trailer because it's fresher?
Just because it's fresh in my mind and I've literally just watched it again and laughed. Oh, right, okay, where do we go? Where do we go with this?
Spite is a powerful weapon.
Spite is a powerful weapon. Let's just say, alright, I watched the trailer. It had none of the humour of the Fantastic Four, none of the familial feel of the Fantastic Four, none of the, what's the word, essence of the Fantastic Four, and they even got the symbol wrong.
What I got from it was going through it and watching it, you could pick out the said, what things do geeks like? We want it to be like those things, and if you go through the trailer, you can put a tick beside it as go, yep, that one wants to be like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. Yep, that one wants to be like Lost. Yep, that one wants to be like Star Wars. Yep, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yep. For some reason, they also threw in there. Yep, the thing was apparently born from a rock egg.
No, that was they thought, yeah, geeks love monkey magic, and they wanted it to be like that. Yeah, there we go. That may well be the most archaic reference I've ever made to anything.
I'm actually watching this, and so far I have seen some kind of, weird science Goonies thing, followed by the teleportation pods from The Fly. Bizarrely enough, the big rock monster from Galaxy Quest. Let's see. Reed Richards looks a lot like Fuckballs from the.
Fuckballs?
You know Fuckballs, that rich guy. Fuckballs. He, owns everything.
Fuckballs McDuck from DuckTales.
No. Fuckballs McDuck from IBM.
Oh, Jesse McThingy made money.
Yeah, no, he kind of looks like a cross between Bill Gates and that guy from The Social Network, whose name I can't remember.
Jesse Eisenberg.
I refuse to learn his name and humanizes him.
He's going to be Lex Luthor. Learn his name.
Well, he joins a long line of entirely forgettable Lex Luthors. I said it. You heard me.
Well. That's a whole other argument. But anyway, back to this Fantastic Four business. All right, they've gone supposedly hard sci-fi. The director was quoted as saying that he felt that the Fantastic Four was ripe for, and I'm quoting here, Cronenberg levels of hard sci-fi. Jesus. I just think they've gotten it wrong.
Do you remember when David Cameron was very, very briefly associated with the Spider-Man franchise, and his thought was like, yeah, you know, what I want Spider-Man to be is this teenage body horror where he's dealing with all these like freaky changes to his body. It seems to have like a lot of that about it.
I think it's a case of a director, and he did one good movie. He did Chronicle. It was a really good film. Which also starred Michael B. Jordan, who he's bringing over to the Fantastic Four as Johnny Storm. And I just think it's they found a superhero project for this guy who did a sort of superhero movie to do, and I just don't think it's gotten the right feel of it. I really don't. There should be a sort of a, well, you know, I get that the Fantastic Four's origin should be a little bit dark, obviously, because of people being mutated into super beings. Their ability to overcome those mutations has always been the defining part of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and any good writer can make that happen without it being like as fucking black as night.
Exactly. And I think that this trailer signifies the wrong tone being used. I think that Fox had a hit with Days of Future Past on their hands, and I think that they decided somewhere along the line to try and make this like Days of Future Past.
No.
Look at Johnny Storm's armor, man. It's Magneto's from the movie.
They're trying to make it like something else. I can't think what type of Man of Steel they're trying to emulate there.
Sorry.
Yeah, did you see what it did there? It's trying.
Yeah,
I think it's trying to be It's trying to be Man of Steel.
It was good.
No,
who was it that said that if anything, Guardians of the Galaxy showed that the the sort of Dark Knight trilogy, dark as fuck superhero movie sort of had his day? Was it Mark Millar?
Yes.
Who oversaw this, oddly enough?
Yeah.
Had nothing but nice things. Had nothing but nice things to say about it as he was standing at a fucking cash machine taking out all of his money.
All the pounds in his pocket.
All the pounds.
Yeah, do you know what?
There's got to, finance that independent comic book career. He's got it.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I look forward to seeing him at every small press show that I've ever been at.
Oh come on, we're into Russell Brand. How can you be on the side of the small man, even though you're rich territory? That's a wankery that I'm not going to play. And didn't Mark Millar start that small press comic magazine?
That got cancelled a year ago.
Well, obviously it got cancelled, but I mean, are we calling his credentials into question here? Even though he's associated with this shit.
I read everything Mark Millar puts out. I think he's a great writer.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic.
And I think he's a great guy. You know, aside from being a great writer, I think, his his devotion to the small press and to the independent comics field is genuine. So I don't want him to be tarred and blackened by this.
No, absolutely not. And just to come back to Fantastic Four.
Just fucking Fantastic Four.
Oh, we haven't even seen him yet. I bet he's going to be shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your year of wonder fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, man,
Hashtag pissive wonder.
No. Don't be.
Address on my page, boys. Go have a look at my page.
Don't be mean, Bobby. I just think that this is. Oh no, maybe we are wrong, and maybe this is going to be really good.
We could be. It's not like we haven't had to eat crow before on this goddamn show.
Crow's delicious, by the way.
It's lovely.
Lovely.
Like eating souls.
It's like, yes, like thank you, Fez. We're full of our.
We got Royal Rumble.
Ha! Hold on, before we go to the Royal Rumble, which all right, I've got a preamble there. I need to ask Kieran.
Yes.
How's your ma?
Well, my mother is still under the pox of the chest infection. She has been very house-ridden this week, as she is most weeks, but more so, less moving around and stuff. So send some well wishes to my mother, everybody. She's doing all right, but could always do better.
Much love to Mama Mark and Center there. Interestingly, one of my colleagues at work was struck down with the pleurisy this week. So,
oh, that is so painful.
Yeah. Bobby, how's your ma?
She is well. I visited her so that I could eat some of her food. Because there's nothing says the fountain and Protestantism to me like saturated fat. So I go to my mass about once a week for dinner, and I went upstairs and I just opened up the thing in the bathroom looking for something. My mum has more knit remedies than anyone I've ever seen in my entire life, because she works as a teaching assistant in a primary school.
Oh, in the fountain.
Yeah, she works.
Oh, fuck me! I've met your mum like loads of times.
Yeah, she's the lollipop lady stroke teaching assistant.
Yeah, I've done loads of projects in the Fountain Pride.
Oh yeah, that's Donna. It didn't occur to you
that Donna Best and Bobby.
That's Donna Best.
Well, no, that's distracted me from the fact that Bobby. It's quite ironic that she's got all that head lice remedy, because you're a man less in need of it than any of the cast of Alien 3.
That is true.
Have you ever seen that Charlie Brown Easter special where he wins? It's like a rally bike racing competition, and for some reason Snoopy's riding a giant toaster, but like Charlie Brown wins it, and the first prize is 10 haircuts, and he's bald, and his dad's a barber. We have fun, don't we, boys?
We do. Do you know who else has fun? The WWE.
Oh,
fuck
me,
Vince.
Boys.
Vince is so far from from the vein of what the fans want that he can't even. I don't know how he's even functioning anymore.
Boys,
it shocks me.
Did you see his appearance on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast?
No, I refuse to watch that.
Well, one of the main points that he made was that he wasn't past it. He wasn't past it. He made a point of saying, I'm not past it, which tells me that in his mind, he's worried that he's past it. Let me tell you something, boys. Vince McMahon is fucking past it.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing. He's been an innovator and a titan of the wrestling industry like no other.
Upon him.
Like no other before him. He redefined the entire industry. And
look, I think the point of the entire thing is, before we get into the Royal Rumble, is that there has always been, he's always had an agenda. He likes pushing big boys with the big bodies, the muscles, and the nice hair, because that's what a man looks like, because that's what his dad did. And now, and now the audience is sending clear messages. These are the things that we want. And last year was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And in fact, to a certain extent, we have CM Punk to thank for that, because the crowd shit on last year's Royal Rumble as well, because they knew what they wanted. They wanted Daniel Bryan to win, and Punk fucking off changed the whole thing, and they had to switch it around. This year, if what I'm hearing is the case, we don't have that to look forward to. Vince is bound and determined that there will be no repeat. They're going straight ahead with the plan, and that is Roman Reigns as the new John Cena, straight to the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, which is weird, because he's going to be the new Rock, and I don't mean the Rock that everyone likes. I mean, sorry, not the Rock. He's going to be the new Rocky Maivia,
the rookie sensation.
Everyone is going to hate him. Now, hopefully, Roman Reigns, because I have nothing against him personally. I mean, I think he's actually, quite talented. He is quite, he's quite sort of not just your run-of-the-mill movesets. As much as people shit on his ability to cut a promo, I think he actually comes across as quite likable. If only he was working off his own script instead of somebody else's.
Well, do you know whose script he's working off?
Whose?
He is personally being scripted. His interviews are being personally scripted by Vince.
Well, suffer and succotash.
Do you know what Vince loves? And this is no joke. This is fucking straight up. Vince loves Looney Tunes cartoons. That is why that's in there. I swear to Christ, that's why it's in there. Vince,
It's wrestling. It's the road to WrestleMania. No, it's not. It's rabbit season. It's the road to WrestleMania. Rabbit season. Road to Wrestle. Sorry. Oh God. Roman Reigns is much like religion and penises. If you have one, that's fantastic. But I just don't want it shoved down my throat.
Oh, by the way, to any of the listeners, if you're tired of the wrestling talk on the podcast, sorry, it will continue apace. Not from, we're just we're broadening our remit here.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry, but I'm not going to stop either. So, yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry.
I'm going to channel Arn Anderson here and say, like it, don't like it, but learn to live with it.
Let's say it for what it is, alright? We do comics, we do TV shows, we do what interests us.
Last night I did your mum. Boom!
She's sick, dude.
Not your mum, I'm talking, I'm talking to the listener, both of them.
Yeah.
Gentle listener. So we're expanding our remit a little bit. We're getting into, let's just be honest about this. We love comics, they will always be our first love, but we love other things too. So we're going to talk about them on the cast because...
that's how we get our fucking jollies.
That's absolutely right, and let's have some fun with this.
Oh, by the way, Mark and Son, did you get that thing I sent you?
No.
And
Not yet.
And post.
Did you meet Wayne Talbot in London in the end?
No, I did not. I did not.
Baylor, you Baylor. For shame, Flanagan. For shame.
That's Finn Balor. Just to get it back to the wrestling.
Yeah, you shouldn't have told the listening public about the podcast conclave that took place in the nation's capital. You know, you're breaking kayfabe there.
What are you even talking about? I just said Wayne went on a lovely holiday.
He did. So, boys, did you catch Raw?
We didn't talk. We haven't really talked about the Rumble yet.
No. This is entirely pertinent.
Did Raw happen?
No, Raw didn't happen. Right, but what happened was they did a load of interviews from WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and also they replayed for free, by the way, on the USA Network the two main matches from the Royal Rumble. They replayed the main event, the Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and John Cena match, which was, by the way, let's credit where credit due, absolutely fucking superb. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
It was. The one thing that's starting to annoy me, and I don't know if Brock just doesn't give a fuck anymore, or I've been viewing his previous career through rose-tinted glasses, but does he have any other moves apart from German?
No.
Oh, cool.
No.
Fair enough.
Right, but the Royal Rumble match was replayed, but for Mark and Sonny, have you seen it?
I have looked at just the main match and the championship match. I didn't stick around for all the other bits. And I fast forwarded through to see DDP and Sting, obviously.
Yeah. You'll have noticed that the star of the Royal Rumble matchup was the audience.
Mm-hmm.
They with their various chants and their booing and their we piss all over this product and what have you. But then
the live taping is that the crowd are going to tell you how they feel.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but
that is one of the most vocally disapproving crowds I have heard in a very long time.
Well, you know where it was, don't you?
I don't actually. I didn't check where it was.
Philly. It was in Philly.
Oh, okay.
And but it was the weirdest thing because I watched it and I watched it in the gym on Monday evening and I really enjoyed shittiness of the match inside. I always enjoy the Royal Rumble because it's the build up and it's the long match and you see all the personalities coming up and they do the spots and whatever. But like the second Daniel Bryan was eliminated, the crowd fucking pissed all over. They pissed all over everything. When The Rock came out, they fucking pissed all over him. It was just, it was terrible.
Man, your mic is cutting in and out terribly, buddy.
I'm moving in and out a lot. I'll sit still. But the only thing they didn't piss all over, actually, ironically, well, it's not ironic. It's that's the Alanis Morissette ironic. The only thing they didn't piss over was actually Damien Mizdow, who they loved. But once he was gone, they pissed all over the match again, right? So
yeah,
pissed. The next night on Raw, when they replayed the match, It was the weirdest thing.
Was there like more cheers that you don't remember watching it live?
It wasn't like there was more cheers because there's no way to put fucking cheers over that. But it was like,
Well, yeah, there is. You pipe it in. They've been doing it for years.
it was like there was booing, but the booing was like if you imagine your parents were having sex next door, and you're
I can't hear you anymore.
oh, for fuck's sake, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are here.
Okay.
Technical difficulties on Kieran Flanagan's end, everybody.
Yeah, it's not the fact that you're going in and out. It's that you're very kind of crackly and going away and then coming back again.
Sorry, I know what the source of this malaise is, and I'll discuss this live on air. My downloads are coming down at about 267 kilobytes per second. So if I click stop,
Oh, torrenting. Killing podcasts the world over.
how are we now? Better?
Better.
Should we take this back to?
No,
Better
fuck,
just
man,
carry-
fuck that shit. I ain't got no more editing in me. I'm never touching this podcast again with a fucking edit.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
We'll
We'll edit this out.
You were talking about your mum and dad having sex.
Oh yeah, imagine that your mum and dad were having sex next door, and you put the pillow over your head to drown it out.
Yeah.
That's how the booing sounded. They just it was so loud that they couldn't get rid of it.
Kieran, you were saying that they put this on in place of Raw. Could you tell me why Raw didn't happen?
Weather bomb.
Weather bomb. Big massive storm hit the US and the authorities wouldn't allow this to happen. God himself disliked the Rumble so much that he smote Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
No, hang on, didn't
that's
God?
exactly what happened.
Well, he probably wanted revenge for that time that he teamed up with Shawn Michaels in the main event of pay-per-view in 2006. Did you catch that one?
No.
The tag team match was Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon against Shawn Michaels and God.
And
No,
God.
no fucking joke. God. They had an entrance with like holy music and a bright light coming down the aisle.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You can find that on YouTube if you want that.
Vince McMahon is in touch with his audience. He swears he still got it.
Honest
Swears.
to fuck cover. How did you think Bubba Ray Dudley looked, boys?
Bubba Ray Dudley's a tank now.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in TNA, and that's muscle, lads. That's not goddamn fat.
Oh no,
He's
I think it's a supreme display of arrogance that they fucking dressed him up in the fucking Dudley Boys, you know, as if he hadn't been doing anything for the last 8 years. And I know people wanted to see him in that outfit, but he just looked fat and slow. Although, do you know what? He probably got a job out of it.
Yeah.
did.
A Legends contract at the very least.
I'd say, well, let's call it for what it is. When I know we've said that a lot, I'm going to stop saying that on podcasts.
But that's your
Right.
catchphrase.
No, called it with Kieran is the catchphrase. Let's see. You fucking totally threw my train of thought there. Yeah, Bubba Ray. All right. So he's been in TNA for a few years now as Billy Ray, right? And we all know that Vince owns the Dudley name. He bought it up when he bought up ECW. He owns every aspect of that particular trademark, and it's a very popular trademark. If you think about it, Dudley Boys.
Sorry to interrupt. If he owns the Dudley Boys name, why did they call themselves Team 3D in TNA?
Because Vince owns the Dudley Boys name, not Bubba.
Oh, right. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
They can call themselves Team 3D all they like. That's fine. That's not calling themselves the Dudley Boys. So, now that he has one half of the Dudley Boys back, how long until we see the other half?
He'll be back very shortly, because the really weird thing is that the buzz on the Dudley Boys is that everybody liked Devon and they thought Bubba was a prick.
Yeah, well,
so they're over the bridge now. But what about Spike? And
the
A
Buck
little
50,
Spike Dudley.
Buck 50 Bulldog, as I used to call him. He was brilliant.
And let's not forget about Chubby Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, Dances with Dudley,
Thank Guy Dudley.
Dudley.
May
All
rest in
Dudleys.
peace.
Great days. Boys, I have to say that despite everything, I really had a lot of fun watching the Royal Rumble. A lot of fucking fun.
What did you think of the main event?
The title match
Mm-hmm.
was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And Brock Lesnar is the best thing in wrestling today, and maybe for the last 5 years. And he has got exactly 1 date left on his contract, and they're wasting it on Roman Reigns.
What is this, Mania?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mania to Mania, isn't it? He had a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Will we see Taker return at Mania?
It's entirely likely. According to Meltzer, my lord and master, the plan is for Bray Wyatt to take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And if you looked at the Royal Rumble, the booking suggests that because he was kept very strong.
He was.
Find that in.
Pardon?
Find that
Yeah.
interesting.
I actually took it to be that this was going to be the setup for another Daniel Bryan Bray Wyatt feud, but apparently that's not the case.
Twitter last night indicates that Daniel Bryan has been challenged on Twitter by Dolph Ziggler. Let's go to WrestleMania and have a fucking match and tear it up, which would be amazing.
Yes. Actually, you know who came across really well in the Rumble for all the time he was in there?
Who?
You know wee Tyson Kidd.
Aye.
I thought he came across really well.
I like that Tyson Kidd.
And then they just fucked him out.
Aye.
They just fucked out Daniel Bryan too.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a matter of, okay, listen to your fans. When Daniel Bryan went out, people were upset. That guy should be getting a bigger push than he is right now.
Kieran, you don't understand. Daniel Bryan, right? He's a little guy. People, yeah, like big guys.
No, Vince likes big guys. Vince.
No, Kieran, let me try again. Let me try.
Muscly, greased up men with long hair.
You're not listening. Daniel Bryan's a little guy.
Yeah.
People like big guys.
Yeah, that's right.
When you
he's not over. The chant is over.
Yeah. You know, when you see a little guy in the airport, you don't go, wow, there goes a big guy, because he's a little guy. And that's how decisions are made in the WWE.
Mm-hmm. I know, I agree. That is how decisions are
Have
made.
I given you my password to the Wrestling Observer website?
No, I should get it.
Oh, no, I'm going to give it out over the air now. Anybody that wants to log into my account on the Wrestling Observer website, my logging name is and the password is By the way, the WWE Network is free in the UK and Ireland during February. I suggest you subscribe.
That brings me to the next point that I was going to make. After the Rumble, because people hated it so much, or possibly because people hated it so much, the #1 worldwide trend on Twitter, and I very much doubt they're going to do this in a, did you know, like 150% of Americans were watching SmackDown last night. You know those stupid things they have?
Yeah.
I very much doubt they're going to have this, but the #1 trend on Twitter after the Rumble was cancel WWE Network, with a load of guys putting up screenshots of them cancelling the WWE Network. Now, do you think, is it because of that which a lot of the news with a Z sites were putting up, or do you think it's just because it's free in February and, you know, Mama didn't raise no fool?
No. Nobody has ever said that the average wrestling fan was like a fountain of intelligence.
Well, that's unfair.
Life's not fair. Get a fucking helmet. Deal with it.
No, I just mean that's. I mean, you could see if WCW had won the Monday Night Wars, you could see the stereotype of the modern wrestling fan having a pickup truck and 15 kids. That could, you know, the wrestling fan.
Yeah,
that would, you could still see that stereotype going about. I don't think anyone thinks that anymore.
I think you're wrong, Bobby. I think that the mainstream wrestling fan is much less informed than you think, and in fact that the smart wrestling fan, I suppose for want of a better term, is much less prevalent than you would suggest.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The modern wrestling fan is 6, and never gives up, and says no to bullying.
Yeah. Right. Let's talk about some
prayers. Need your vitamins, gentlemen.
Let's talk about some comics, brothers.
Yes. Flanagan, you go first. You've read lots of Marvel this week.
Yeah, I read quite a few comics. I haven't got my notes to hand, so I will apologize for the brevity of this, but it's not to scale. This week I read and I enjoyed the following. One, the concluding chapter of the current run of X Factor. I think it's issue 20.
I have not read it yet, but I look forward to it. Featuring the Sliney Boy.
Yeah, by by Peter David and Will Slaney. I'm so sad to see this title go, and in fact, the conclusion of the Warlock Cypher Danger love triangle was concluded in a really, really beautiful way, and I felt, I was actually moved for once by a comic, so that's good. I've been really down on Marvel for their bullshit over the last 4 or 5 months, but that was like something that was really special, I felt.
Anyway?
No.
Oh,
although it did involve sex. I read the latest issue of Guardians of the Galaxy, where Venom and the Guardians of the Galaxy go to the symbiote homeworld, Planet of the Symbiotes. Very different from envisioned in that shitty series of Marvel annuals in 1994. Really, really well written, really well done, and also Flash Thompson's character has been upgraded in a badass way without losing anything from the character. I liked it a lot. Nice.
Yeah.
That means we're losing Deck Shelby's design, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, but I think it's for the greater good. I think, unfortunately, the Agent Venom thing in space just made no sense.
Yeah, it run its course.
But they've gone for a more Power Ranger-y sort of thing, Mark Antonio. I think you would approve.
Go Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I think it explained the way the symbiote's been a complete bastard.
Yeah, really nicely done. Like just
explained that really well.
A really fucking good issue. I read the Peter Quill, the Legendary Star-Lord, issue 7, which
that is a great series.
And do you know what? The latest issue is just one of the nicest things I've ever read, which is Peter Quill trying to get a bit of sex off young Kitty Pryde, and her being like, "Nah, no sex for you, Peter Quill," and he's like, come on, is it because I'm a space bomb outlaw fucking dipshit? And she's like, yes, and he's like, no, come with me to this orphanage and I'll explain why I'm not such a shitbag. And they go to this orphanage and she's like, why did you bring me to this orphanage? And he's like, oh no, this is terrible. And then like the woman that owns the orphanage is like, psst, Peter Quill's a really nice guy. And then the next thing you know, Peter Quill and Kitty Pryde are having a load of sex. Great comic. Great comic.
You really boil it down.
Yeah, no, that's what it's.
Apart from the fact that they've spent 20 or 10 odd issues, 20 issues of Guardians of the Galaxy and 7 or 8 issues of this miniseries, basically living completely at the opposite ends of the universe. I mean, he's had to essentially have Skype calls with his girlfriend across space for the last
but like any
2 years.
Like
he deserved that sex, Flanagan.
Yeah, he earned that sex. He earned that space sex in zero gravity, intangible riding. Good man.
Listen, let's hope she had full tangibility, because the part about her being intangible had kind of been part of the problem for the last few months.
I also read Powers issue 1, the new issue 1 of Powers, which I didn't even know was coming.
A new TV show, I suppose.
I didn't know there was a new TV show.
Oh my God, Flanagan! It's coming out on the PlayStation Network in a few months.
Okay, what I will say this: having read all of Powers,
never read it. But...
Having read Powers the whole way through, having read this new issue of Powers, I'm going to take the Evan Dorkin 1994 Eldingville Club reaction to Godzilla coming out. They better not fuck this up. And that's all I read this week. I had a great week reading comics. I loved reading the comics this week. I was very happy. Oh, except for all the Spiderverse shit.
You're cutting out badly again, Flanagan.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Yeah. Except for... I shut that off.
This, pause the recording and try a different Skype call. Cause that's
no. For some reason... Oh, my uploads went off after I shut down all the downloads. That should be fine now, yeah?
Okay, go back to...
Christ, I don't know.
No, let's go back to just after you finished talking about sex with Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, no, because we'd all enjoy a bit of sex with Kitty Pryde, wouldn't we? Now, he worked hard for that bit of sex. He built it up. He Skype called her. He got friendly with a friend of a friend. Listen, fair play to you, Peter Quill. I'm sure you've got plenty of space fanny in your time, but...
Yeah.
You banged an X-Man dude. Well done.
Not only did he bang an X-Man, he banged a professor. And for that, I salute you, my close friend. Now, Spiderverse.
Spiderverse.
Oh, okay.
All right,
This
how
I
would you
have
go-
read.
I'm enjoying Spiderverse. I caught up on it this week. I had about 6 months worth of Amazing Spider-Man to catch up on, so I got all caught up on it. And I'm actually really digging it. I've always enjoyed Ultimate Spider-Mans, and bringing them all together in this way and actually making Morlun seem like an actual threat, and the background with his family and the greater idea of this life web knocking around. It's brought a bit of a meaning to it, you know. We've had all of these other spiders knocking around for a while. Kane, now Silk, and indeed the character of Mayday Parker from the future has again come into prominence. So these characters that, you know, have been knocking around and didn't really have meaning are kind of brought together in this story as being three major powers that, you know, we just weren't aware of. The reason that this army of Spider-Men that's being hunted down by Morland's family have come together is to try and fight them off. But the reason that they've chosen Peter Parker from the 616 as their leader is that he's the only one that's ever killed one of the members of the Morland's family. He's in fact killed Morland twice before, and that's something none of them have been able to do.
Killed Morland twice before.
Yes. How's that working out for him?
Well, you see, the whole deal is this story explains why Morland keeps coming back, and it's not the usual Marvel, oh, he's just alive again. There's actually story to it, and I'm enjoying seeing how that story is coming together, because it is actually making a character that I did consider not even C-list, maybe even D, E, F, G-list villain from Spider-Man into a genuine major threat, while also letting me see characters interact that I enjoy seeing interact. It's nice seeing a version of Ben Reilly interact with Kane Parker now that Kane Parker has taken up the role of Scarlet Spider. That's pretty cool.
And it's great to finally see Aunt May as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't caught up on the latest issue with Uncle Ben as Spider-Man, have you?
No, I haven't.
Uncle Ben is also Spider-Man.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, what do you call that big? Was it Leopardon?
Yeah.
From the Japanese big feckin' robot.
Oh, the mech from the Japanese Spider-Man.
Yeah, was it Leopardon?
Martin.
I loved seeing him in that.
Yeah.
It lasted about 5 seconds, but still.
Well,
look, can I explain what my
I salute the creative team of this book because I think that they've done a good job. So there you go.
They've done the best job with a bad situation. Can I explain why?
Let me just say this because I've never said it before on the podcast, and it's actually hard. I'm getting it out. Hang on.
Oh, you're going to like Dan Slott, aren't you?
Oh Jesus! Don't make me. Yeah, it's, you know what? Dan Slott has written this well. There, I said it.
Look, Dan Slott's a great man for making a good job of a bad situation. I think he's trying his hardest here. He's trying his fucking damnedest.
Lovely dude. I've met Dan Slott at London Supercon. He's a great guy. I've never really been a fan of much of his Spider-Man writing until now. Spider-Verse and Amazing Spider-Man over the last few months since the return of Peter Parker has been really good. I just never dug the Superior Spider-Man angle, although I did like seeing Peter Parker punch the shit out of him in the second issue. That was great.
Okay. Here's the problem.
Yo.
Spider-Man is a character that, since more than anyone since Superman, I think, has been plagued by an army of imitators, like people looking at the success of Marvel's Spider-Man character and saying, we want a Spider-Man 2, we want a Spider-Man 2, we want a Spider-Man 2. And the company that has done that more than any other is fucking Marvel themselves. So at every single possible opportunity, they've tried to make another Spider-Man. And what it's done is it has cluttered the continuity with a load of shit Spider-Man.
Oh, absolutely. And this is doing a great job.
Yeah, this is a great job of it saying, how are we going to deal with all the shit Spider-Man we've done? I know, we'll have a story with all the shit Spider-Man.
And we'll fucking kill them.
Good. I'm glad they're fucking dead. And I hope Spider-Man dies again as well.
All right, I'd say at the end of this, what we're gonna have is we're gonna have Miles Morales. We're gonna have Peter Parker. We're gonna have, we know Spider Gwen for some reason is gonna survive. She's getting her own series. We're gonna have Silk, and the one I think isn't gonna make it out of it. I think Kane's gonna die. I think Kane, Scarlet Spider, is gonna take a dive in this one.
Oh no, I will be concerned.
He's actually one of my favorites of the lot. I actually really dig Kane. I've been reading Spider-Man comics since the Clone Saga. I took a dip out for maybe a year, about 2 years ago during the whole Superior Spider-Man thing, and Kane Parker has always held my interest, even more so than Ben Reilly. After 50 or 60 years with one character, you have to expand that universe to have other characters that are interesting too.
Do you mind if I come over?
And Spider-Man's always kind of weird. Yeah, go.
Do you mind if I come over all Hulk Hogan here for a second?
You give it to me, brother.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I've been a Spider-Man fan since the original Clone Saga.
Yeah, me too.
And every fucking... I'd say with possibly 3 exceptions, every alternate version of Spider-Man they introduced has been total shit.
Spider-Ham?
Total shit.
Spider-Ham.
The exceptions being, 1, Spider-Man 2099, a completely different character.
I was going to come to that character.
2, Mayday Parker.
Mayday Parker is a great character, and the way that they're portraying her in this story is fantastic.
3, do you remember the Spider-Man cartoon from the 1990s?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did the Clone Wars and that?
Yeah.
And they introduced a Spider-Man who was just an actor who played Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That guy. That guy.
He's in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I know, it's great. Right, lads, time's against us, so let's sum up on Spider-Verse very quickly.
Olivier Copiel is killing it on art.
Great art. Sorry, all respect.
Absolutely brilliant.
Great art.
Fantastic art. Good read. Really enjoying it. Really looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Really looking forward to seeing more Spider-Man in the future from Will Salini and Luca Pizzari.
Boom.
Hey!
Let's go from that to this.
We're gonna have a TV party tonight. We're gonna have a TV party, alright!
We've got nothing better to do.
Now, we started our I'm Alive, I'm Awake. No, wait, I'm Awake, I'm Alive series in October of last year. Has been very well received. We're going to make that a regular feature, one time a month from now on. It's back to my choice now, gentlemen. And I have chosen a man who is not really. He's quite sexy. He's not really a genre guy. Tangentially is, but just someone more that I admire. Actually, ironically, as a person more than anything he's done in the field of performance. And that man is Henry Rollins.
What a man.
What a great,
I've seen Henry a bunch of times on his spoken word tours in Ireland. He's been to Vicar Street on a number of occasions, and I've gone with Jill.
I've seen him there in Vicar Street once. I saw him in London. I saw him in Belfast. Just an amazing, and I don't use this word often, a raconteur.
Yes.
Much like
I saw him in The Empire. Only seen him once, unfortunately, but I saw him in The Empire. So I'm actually quite pleased. I think out of everyone that I've ever seen in The Empire, it's really good for me to say I have played in the same building as Henry Rollins. Not at the same time, obviously, but yeah.
Now, I told a friend at school today that I was doing a podcast this evening talking about Henry Rollins, and this is a guy who's fairly well informed about genre matters, and he said, "Who?" Okay, well, that's a logical response because he hasn't been a mainstream figure for, realistically speaking, 15 years. And that's at the outside.
The most screen time he's had in recent times has actually been in roles like Sons of Anarchy, which now is actually, now that I think about it, 5 years since he's been in that role.
Yeah.
More recently, he played a character in The Legend of Korra called Zahir, who, for me, this has been one of his greatest genre contributions. we don't talk about cartoons too much on the show, but one of my favorites of all time is the Avatar saga, and I'm quite fond of the Legend of Korra as well. And in Legend of Korra, what they've done with Henry Rollins' character is, and I struggle to try and put two words together that describe him, because the two words that you have to put together to describe him completely don't interact with each other, and it's weird. But in this show, he plays a character that is essentially a Zen anarchist. And
that actually describes the man pretty well as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance he plays, in that he plays a monk who has been a very outspoken character throughout the world in Avatar, is imprisoned for his beliefs, and during the Great Convergence gains the power of airbending. He becomes what is essentially a dark mirror for the lead character of the original series of Avatar, Aang. He's an airbender who is absolutely and totally convinced that the best way for the world is for him to take down every institution that Aang, as you know, the Avatar and the only airbender at that time, built. It's really, for a kids show, a kids cartoon, I think Legend of Korra and Avatar is one of the most complex shows out there. And he plays an incredibly intelligent, well-spoken, and indeed anarchistic terrorist, and he is absolutely brilliant in the role.
Well, let's go with some biographical data for the uninitiated. He was something I only found out within the last year. Actually, Henry Rollins is not his name.
Oh no, it's not his name. It's just the stage name and performance name.
Yeah, Henry Garfield, which is excellent. Was a fairly unassuming youth from the Washington, D.C., Virginia area, brought up in a military school, left that, dropped out of college, was working in an ice cream parlor, and became the frontman of a shitty garage band. You know, like a lot of people in Washington, D.C., or any fucking small suburb of the United States did in 1982. He went to see Black Flag one evening performing in New York, and because he had to leave, he asked him to play a particular song called Clocked In, because he had to go to work the next morning at 8 a.m. And they invited him up on the stage to sing, and he sang. And he sang well. He sang. What he didn't know was that the lead singer of Black Flag at the time, Des Cadena, was wanting to move on to guitars, and they were actively searching for a new lead singer. They were so impressed by his performance that they phoned him the next day and said, look, could you come up to New York and audition to be the lead singer of Black Flag? He did. They said, join the band. He quit his job in an ice cream parlor immediately, and he spent the next 6 years on the road in a punk band. Now, if that is not the greatest story in music, and if that does not make you despair of the X Factor and the way that the music industry works today, I got nothing for you.
Yep, sounds about right. Obviously, those 6 years that he spent with Black Flag. If any of you want to read one book, I would suggest Get in the Van.
Get in the Van.
His tour diaries from that time. Actually, if you enjoy a good audiobook, he brought out an audiobook of that and won a Grammy for it.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you know, if people ask me what my favorite books are, there's three. One is Watchmen, two is Pure Dynamite by the Dynamite Kid, and three is Get in the Van by Henry Rollins. A phenomenal book. Mark Antonio, have you read?
I have indeed. Great book.
A great book. So, after he left Black Flag, he spent a little bit of time sort of fucking about. He formed a backing band, which eventually became the Rollins Band. But before that happened, I think actually the most important event in his life that really influenced the way he spoke and acted from that point on was he watched his best friend get killed in front of him, like in a home invasion, and that had a profound effect on him and the way he acted, the way he spoke, the way he recorded. After that, if you can get your hands on the Henry Rollins book, Now Watch Him Die, that'll tell you all you need to know about that. But he went on and he became a musician, had a lot of success with the Rollins Band, and somehow that led to him becoming, and this is where the real crux of the matter becomes, gentlemen, is he became an actor of sorts. And he didn't become an actor who was in good things, did he? No. He,
No.
he became an actor who was in bad things, very, very bad things, like almost unforgivably bad things, and yet at the same time, I can only find it in my heart to forgive him for these bad things that he's done because he's such a fine man. What's your favorite bad Henry Rollins performance, Mark and Sonia?
It's got to be either Bad Boys 2 or maybe Johnny Mnemonic.
I think that's a winner for me. But did you gonna give a shout out to Fred Fletch here? Did you see the picture that Fred Fletch did of Johnny Mnemonic?
No, but I would gladly go to Fred Fletch's timeline and look up whichever picture he did of Johnny Mnemonic.
I'm throwing this out here right now, Fred Fletch. We're doing the birthday show, the 2DCast third birthday show on the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of February. I want you as a guest, motherfucker.
Come, Fred Fletch. We want you on the podcast. Tell us what your Skype is.
Yeah.
Who?
I am not entirely sure that you exist. I think you're a sentient computer program from the future. But yeah, by all means, come on.
Yeah. So Henry Rollins made all these bad films and TV programs. You can Google them. There's just hundreds of really fucking like willfully shitty stuff, with two exceptions, if I may be so bold.
Yes.
One, maybe the greatest acting job I've ever seen, and somebody else has pointed this out in the Facebook page, but the scene in Heat where Al Pacino beats up Henry Rollins. What a sell job.
That Al Pacino could, or should, or would even possibly be able to beat up Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took his bumps well.
It took his bumps well. Secondly, on a recent episode of Adventure Time, Henry Rollins showed up playing the mother, or sorry, Jesus Christ, how did I make that mistake? The father of, because he's a man, of Jake's girlfriend, the Korean unicorn rainbow person, and he was fantastic in that.
Does he speak English?
Yes, he does, through a translator.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
But it's the reason that the point of the I'm Awake, I'm Alive series is to revere people who are still with us, and not dwell on the shit that they did. And the reason that I bring Henry Rollins up is not because of his strength as an actor, which he's actually quite a good actor, but he chooses to appear in mostly terrible stuff, and it's not because he's a really good musician, which I think he is, but he chooses mostly to release terrible songs. It's because of the strength that he shows as a person. And I'm going to get personal here. I first discovered his spoken word stuff at a time in my life where I was kind of unsure of myself. A really good friend of mine had just died in a really horrible way, and I was sort of at an impasse as regards to, is the world a good place or a bad place? And what I learned from what he said was that self-resilience and strength and belief in yourself, and that you didn't need any outside influences, and that you could continue yourself, were something that really spoke to me at that time. And that's why I've chosen him for this segment this week, because for the idea that he's a man that I never for a single second, when I see him speaking in public or on a TV appearance or on his radio show or anything, I never sense for a second that I'm getting anything but the real deal from him. And people who are hard talking the way he is, but also at the same time like decent and honest people like he is, I think are rarities in this modern world, and I think we could do with more people like him. Yeah,
sometimes to his detriment though. Whose death was it that
Robin
got him in a lot of bother?
Robin Williams. And
Robin Williams.
I think that it was a side effect of he has a very again, like I spoke about, strength, self-determination, the ability to motivate oneself, and that inner motivation, that same thing that drove him to those like amazing performances with Black Flag and the Rollins Band. He doesn't have a lot of time for weakness, he doesn't have a time for a lot of time, and I think sometimes he speaks to it as well. That it's to his detriment. He doesn't have an understanding of it, and he to his credit, he immediately came out and apologized for that.
Yeah, like the next day. I mean, anyone else would, kind of hope for the next news cycle to come up and people to kind of quietly forget about it. But no, he manned the fuck up. He explained himself well. I'm actually reading it at the minute. He was saying, "Look, I know people are angry at me, and you've every right to be. So I'm not telling you to stop at all, but this is what I think."
Yeah, he didn't backtrack. He said, "Oh,
No.
I'm sorry I upset people. This is my thinking things." Because he's like a highly intelligent guy, a really highly intelligent guy.
And self-educated as well. Not, I wouldn't say self-educated, but he
dropped out of university after one semester just because he didn't want to. A lot of stuff about Henry that I like. Just small things come up every once in a while. For example, he lived in a shed for 7 years. a fucking shed.
Happily, probably, as well.
He lived in the shed happily. He was with. He lived in the shed of the artist. I've talked about him in the podcast at least twice before with Jar Hankey. But he lived in the shed of artist Raymond Pettibone. He lived in his backyard in his shed with his mum and dad, and I think that's brilliant. I think that's just amazing. He has no fixed address, as far as I'm aware. Still, he goes on tour all year, every year. He's very, very strongly anti-war, pro-armed forces, which is a stance I can get behind. We live in a...
get behind that.
Yeah. Yay! I just... boys, we all get one. In our life, we all get one. He's just someone that I admire, and
I admire the man's constant energy.
Yeah.
He is, as you say, he tours 99% of the time. I do believe that in the last few years he developed a relationship.
He's spoken about it. He has a woman now.
Yes, she makes him food, and
yes, I think, were you at the same show in Vicar Street as
quite possibly?
Yeah,
before we ever met.
Yeah. In 2010?
That's correct. Yeah, that was the one where he spoke about made the revelation that
he has a woman.
He has a lady now that he goes over. He's eats food and they relax and talk, and evidently they have sexual intercourse. And that's a part of his life now that he's finally that he's never really had.
Yeah.
Because he's always been on the road full time. Henry Rollins.
I know, yeah. He lives the gimmick.
I would imagine that sex with... Not that I think about this, but I would imagine sex with Henry Rollins would be... Like, all that pent-up frustration would take the top of a woman's head off.
No. If you
I'd say he's actually a very tender and sweet lover.
Sorry, was that like a fucking... Was that like a fucking Medea movie?
Dear,
go get your man.
Dear diary. As I understand it, he was in a long-term relationship with a major celebrity.
Tell me more. Who?
Tracy Jordan. No, seriously. I think he's never really talked about it. So.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Think it was Winona Ryder.
Oh, she seems nice. I think they'd be well cute together.
Here, Henry, I got you a nice present. It's this jacket here. It's still got the tag on it from the shop. I stole it because I'm a thief. Why do you have to ruin everything?
I don't know. Let's bring it back to something serious. The West Memphis 3, I think, is probably the greatest thing he's ever.
Oh yeah, his campaign to to fund the defense of the West Memphis 3, and ultimately leading to, I don't want to say it was directly leading to, but the West Memphis 3 are now free.
Yeah, it didn't fucking hurt anyway.
Yeah, but he did a fucking fantastic tour with the band Mother Superior, who were briefly the Rollins band, and released a great album of Black Flag covers by various artists. just absolutely brilliant. You know, I've sold Henry short as a musician. Like his stage persona was just absolutely phenomenal.
For all the way from State of Alert right through to Black Flag, right through to the Rollins Band. He's been a solid performer musically.
Yeah.
And a hard worker. He was always touring, always releasing. There was always the thing that has always struck me about Henry Rollins is that he is probably one of the most hard-working writers, performers, and tourers out there in the world that has ever been.
Yeah, hardest working man in show business now that James Brown's fucking dead.
And he has a good James Brown story actually as well.
He does have a really the one about the. I'd forgotten about the James Brown story. The airport, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Listen, guys. Let's give. We can give. I suppose there's only so much stuff we can say here. Look, he's not a stand-up comedian now. Although it's not a million miles removed from it. He is he's
a spoken word performer, but he's really funny.
Yeah. Really, guys, if you get an opportunity to hear Henry Rollins speak, right? Do me a favor. 1, book a ticket. 2, go to the venue. 3, have a piss before he starts, because he will talk for fucking hours and hours and hours, and it's hilarious. And he won't leave the stage.
He does not believe in an intermission.
No, and he won't. And you won't want to leave anyway. He's just.
Do you know how great he is? They actually made a Batman villain for him.
Bonk?
No. Oh my God, lad! Seriously, Batman Beyond. Mad Stan. The character of Mad Stan, voiced by Henry Rollins, was created in the likeness of Henry Rollins, and to be essentially an exaggerated version of Henry Rollins.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, more nerd credits for him there. He's been in frickin' Batman.
Yeah, and he's been Kilowog.
Oh, have you heard? He's got a really good spoken word thing about recording that Batman segment as well.
I haven't actually heard that.
Is this the Return of the Joker or the Batman Beyond?
He was in Batman Beyond in a number of episodes.
Yeah, and Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is, before I forget, David Sedaris has just announced a Belfast date for May 31st. I believe his first ever Belfast date. Anybody who's in Belfast, you need to book tickets to that now. I can't make it because of other
stuff.
Business.
You'll be cruising.
No, I'm not doing that.
You'll be snoozing and cruising, won't you?
I ain't cruising, bro. I ain't cruising. There's been a change.
Oh.
I want to give a quick mention from my heart to Mr. Henry Rollins. I want to thank him for recording a song and telling the story of his time spent in a studio with William Shatner.
With the Shat, yeah. We mentioned that last episode. If you haven't found it, check it out right now.
He has recorded the actual story of walking into a studio with Ben Folds on piano, one of the Ramones on drums, William Shatner,
Adrian Belew from King Crimson on guitar,
being taken out to a restaurant and convinced to take part in the album, being taken out to a restaurant where a man arrived to the restaurant with these scallops, and William Shatner tells the story how William Shatner told the story. And to watch Henry Rollins tell a story in the style of William Shatner, it's just amazing. It's all about the scallops.
Yeah, the follow-up story actually about going to William Shatner's house. Have you heard that one?
Yes, I have.
Ben Stiller.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. I think we better...
Well, he's encountered a lot of human beings in his life. Some of them famous, some of them not so famous. And the way he tells stories about every single one of them is absolutely amazing. I've loved the man's ability to tell a story, and through either music or, through his, I think his acting doesn't get enough credit.
Do you know what?
Sons of Anarchy was great, man.
Whether he's talking about a millionaire or a bum on the street, he speaks about them in exactly the same fashion. It's as if they're just some guy he met and he's talking to him and he's hanging with him. I think that's his greatest strength. He's despite being a punk singer and despite being an actor and despite winning a Grammy and despite being in all these films and cartoons and everything, he's an everyman. and he's still
Yeah.
he wants to learn everything about the world, and he still hasn't had enough. At nearly, well, by the time this goes out, it'll be his birthday on the 6th of February. So
Happy birthday,
Birthday,
Henry
Mr.
Rollins.
Rollins.
yeah, woo.
Hi. Right. Well, if I could suggest one thing after listening to this here podcast and doing all the other things that we've said, you must do this. Is if you take yourself onto YouTube, and the video you're looking for is it's by a channel called Big Think, and it's called Henry Rollins, the one decision that changed my life forever. He explains himself better than I think anybody else ever could. Just the way he lives his life, and sort of the whole, like, why he does what he does. It's about 7 minutes of just him making absolute fucking sense.
And when you've done that, read Black Coffee Blues, Smile, You're Traveling, Get in the Van, Ice Cream, Broken Summer, Rumanitarian, which is one of my favourites, and Solipsist. Those are the lists of his books.
Yes.
And also go onto YouTube and put in Henry Rollins versus Iggy Pop.
Yeah, good guy, good stuff. Bobby, what are we finishing up with this evening?
Well, gentlemen, we have fun on a comics podcast, don't we?
We do have fun, yeah.
We are a comics podcast. Now, to tie all this together, we're going to take a song off the soundtrack to The Crow
Yes!
by Henry Rollins,
Yes!
named after another comic book character. Kieran, Mark, Antonio, what are we playing?
We are playing Ghost Rider.
We'll talk to you again next week, Mark Antonio. Me and you are flying solo, so some treats, I hope.
Oh yeah, anybody in Galway, I'm gonna be travelling like nearly 10 hours to go to Galway to play for like 7 minutes. So if anybody wants to come see that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, if you're our
Why am I doing this?
if you're our one listener in Antarctica, you might want to go to Galway to hear Bobby play.
Actually, on that note, identify yourself.
Who are you?
Antarctic listener.
Who are you? Man.
Make yourself known.
Probably correct.
Probably correct, Flex. It would explain a lot, actually.
Good evening.
Bye.
Good night.